This conference will now be recorded.
अद्य शनिवासर अथवा मंदवासर आषाढ कृष्ण षष्ठी दिनांक 11 जुलै 2020 सहस्रयोगम भद्रिकादिगृहीतम् शंखं चक्रं जलौकान् चारुदोर्भिश्चतुर्भिः सूक्ष्मस्वच्छातिर्द्यांशुकपरिविलसन् मौलिमं भोजनेत्रं कालाम्भोदोज्ज्वलाङ्गं कटितटविलसच्चारुपीताम्बराढ्यं वन्दे धन्वन्तरिं तं निखिलगतवनः प्रौढदावाग्निलीनम् प्रौढदावाग्निलीलम् ब्रह्मणो हि समारब्धाम् आत्रेयाद्येषु पूजिताम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् आयुर्वेदरतं वन्दे माधवाख्यं महागुरुम् आयुर्वेदामृतं सर्वं शिष्येभ्यो यः प्रदत्तवान् द्रष्टाज्ञानी दुष्टकर्मा कृतकर्मा तथैव च अध्यापको विश्वक्श्रेष्ठो महान् संशोधकस्तथा गुणैरेतैः समुदितैः यत्कार्यं प्रतनोद्दिशः समृद्ध्यर्थं हि कार्यस्य वयं नु प्रयतामहे सरस्वत्यै नमो यस्याः प्रसादात् पुण्यकर्मभिः बुद्धिदर्पणसङ्क्रान्तं जगदध्यक्षमीक्षते आत्रेयं प्रथमं वन्दे आयुर्वेदजगद्गुरुम् आयुर्वेदामृतं सर्वं गृहीत्वा हि सुरेश्वरात् अग्निवेशादिकेभ्यो यत्प्रयच्छत् मुनिसत्तमः प्रथमं तन्त्रकर्तारम् अग्निवेशं नमाम्यहम्। बद्रिकासुरस्य सर्पिः पक्वं क्षीरसमन्वितं जलप्रसादनं कल्पं सितया च विमिश्रितं सर्वं रमोक्षतोत्थानां मृगां प्रशमनं परम्। तर्हि अत्र जलप्रसादनं कल्पं सितया च विमिश्रितं सिता कदा मिश्रेतव्या अयं मनः प्रश्नः एव। हिन्दी भाषान्तरे तावत् सीता सहिता कल्पः ग्राह्यः इति कृतमस्ति, किन्तु उभयतापि अर्थं कर्तुं शक्यते। सर्पैः साध्यं ततः सीतया विमिश्रितं प्रयोक्तव्यम् इति। So when the sita is to be added, whether it is to be added during preparation of the ghee or later, that remains a question. सर्वं ब्रह्मक्षतोत्थानं रुजां प्रशमनन्तरं यथा मया उक्तम् इदं कृतं सर्वं मर्मक्षतोत्थानां रुजां प्रशमनम्। अतः हृद्रोगे वा भवतु अथवा बस्तिरोगे वा भवतु शिरोरोगे वा भवतु एतत् प्रयोक्तुं शक्यते इति तत्र फलितार्थः। So it is better to use this in all marmakshata and Kataja Ruja or something like that. So both the things are possible. Mix it with honey. काल से नाही चूर्ण कोणते नाही चूर्ण कोणते. I don't know, somebody said yesterday. So it is available somewhere. Pollutkar sir was using, and this is from Nadhu Sampradaya as such. So better ask Pramod Kulkarni or Sanjay Pentse. Even Manoj Firodia might be knowing, I know, not sure. Mohammed Chakar. Yeah, this is what Sharavati explained, Mohammed Chakar. And so if it is available by that name, that is fine. Balachitra Rase Siddham Sarpik Shira Chaturganam Jirakatvaya Mridvika Madhukena Samanvitam Samirana Vikayojanam Kasa Ikantra Nashanam. ये भी हमने ले लिया था एक्चुअली, और अंतर से अंतर रोग ऐसा लेना है, ऐसा यहाँ पे किया था, और उसके आधार पर मैंने बोला था कि मैं आज इसके बारे में थोड़ा इट इज अवेलेबल एट लोखंडे शॉप, वेरी गुड सो लोखंडे शॉप इज इन Raivarpet, so one may try to bring it from there. So Antara Roga, this is सब रोगों का काका, नाई निर्गुणी माँ का सब रोगों का काका, नाथ संप्रदाय में है। तो उस हिसाब से उसको लेना है। So anyway, on organ and dusha concept, yes, that is what I remember right now. So let us go for that. Basically, there is a big difference between the development of conventional medicine and what is given in Ayurvedic texts. Ayurvedic texts have a holistic approach of the living being as such, not only the physical body, but the living being as such. And that is why we are trying to consider the functionality of the living being as a whole, considering that body, mind, senses, and soul are its components, and each component has its own role. So yeshamev bhavanam sampatsanjane naram teshamev budvyatin vividhan samudire. That is what we learned in this 25th Yajna Purushiya Adhyay. So like that, Ayurveda has a totally different holistic approach. As compared to that, the conventional medicine is having a focused approach, and that is anatomical approach. That is yet another important aspect. So with the help of microscope, they started going to very minute objects, may be the organisms in the universe, may be the body parts, may be the biochemistry, etc., etc. So with this microscope and further electron microscope, many things were revealed. And with the development in the physics, they started going for this sonography, then CT scan, PET scan, MRI, etc. So visualization of body parts became much easy, and they got carried away with this view and start forgetting about holistic approach. That's a major lacuna in conventional medicine. As a result of that, mechanical approaches were found out to deal with varieties of diseases. So use of dialysis machine is a good example of this. Heart-lung machine, pacemaker, and varieties of other devices have been developed to either enhance the activity of the organ, like in pacemaker, or to get the work done mechanically from machine. And this is due to the reductionist approach of concentrating only on that particular system, whether it is respiratory system, cardiovascular system, urinary apparatus, or whatever it may be, or something like that, focusing only on that. And that is why they have a peculiar diagnosis of a tumor, whether malignant or non-malignant, and whether it's a cyst or whether it is something hemangioma, etc., etc. So they have a typical approach of diagnosing the disease and then treating with it mechanically without going into the causative factors and such. They want to have a mechanical approach about that. And if the problem cannot be fixed, then we go for transplant surgeries. So transplant surgeries have developed during last 2-3 decades enormously. Knee replacement, hip replacement, kidney transplant, liver transplant, heart transplant, and whatnot. So this is organ-based approach. As compared to that, we have very few organs explained in Ayurveda. Maybe Hridaya, maybe Grahani, maybe Amashay, Pakvashay, etc. etc. And we are more concerned about the physiology of the organ rather than the anatomical structure as such. So our base is totally different, and we have a system that everything that gets generated in the body is due to the process of Agni and Srotas. So our digestion concept doesn't stop at digestive system. Thereafter again the Ahara Rasa is being acted upon by Rasadhatvagni, further Rasadhatvagni, etc. And within that again Bhutagni is also play their role. So as a whole, whatever is getting generated into the body has to undergo the process of Agni, has to undergo the process at a particular Srotas and such. And there is less importance to organ and more importance to dosha dhatu and mala. So ours is a totally different approach, which is a holistic approach as such. And we are going deep into the thing. Now the whole world today is mesmerized by conventional medicine, particularly the so-called research in conventional medicine and mechanical fixing of the problem that it's a medicine or it's the medicine or something like that. And all other sciences have to be taught in the influence of conventional medicine and then decide whether they are scientific or not, etc. etc. But since there is no emphasis on causative factors at all, the conventional medicine still has many limitations. This Tristanda approach, Hetulinga Jnanam Swastatra Parayanam, is really a very big thing. And Ayurveda has advantage or benefits of this particular approach as such. So when it comes to a organ related disease, that's what conventional medicine is emphasizing upon. When they don't have any philosophy to restore the organ back, they just go for either removing the organ or replacement theories or treating it with chemotherapy, radiation, etc. if it is a cancer. In cancer, this is very well seen that in conventional medicine, the diagnosis is on the basis of cell type, that is one thing, and the chemotherapy is based on that. And it is organ related as well, renal cell carcinoma, hepatocellular carcinoma, and lung cancer and brain cancer, etc. etc. And in that scenario, as long as possible, surgery is possible, they would go for surgery. If not, they may go for radiation. If not, they may go for chemotherapy and destruct the cells, cancer cells, not really dealing with the cancer disease as such. So, in many diseases, the approach is just mechanical, and they are able to convince the ordinary man that now, if we remove that organ, then the problem is solved. Best example is hysterectomy. So there are diseases like Rakta Pradar or maybe fibroid leading to Rakta Pradar or pain. And if we remove the uterus, then there is no question of disease in the body. That is what they try to say. They forget the etiology behind the fibroid or behind Rakta Pradar. And this dosha vaishamya, according to Ayurveda, which remains in the body even after removal of the uterus, is not considered at all. They don't have this concept of dosha vaishamya at all. And so they are convinced that they have fixed the problem properly. The society is convinced that the problem has been fixed, but nobody is aware the internal process that is going on, which is explained very well in Ayurveda. So, according to Ayurveda, every individual disease is from dosha itself. And the dosha has varieties of reasons, ahara, vihara, manasa bhava, etc., etc. And then, if we understand the samprapti properly, how this disease has been generated, and if we stop the positive factors and reverse the process of samprapti, we should be able to treat any kind of disease. Of course, it should be in curable stage. Otherwise, we have also curable and incurable conditions. But then it is possible to revert the situations. Now, generally, what is happening? Initially, there might be symptoms associated with dosha vaishamya. And these are the signals given by the body that something is wrong in the body. We should honor this symptom and try to look for positive factors of that, whether it is particular dosha, dusha, whatever it may be. Avoid the causes, get properly treated, and the condition can be reversed. But if care of this kind is not taken, the patient doesn't approach Ayurveda at all, and the causative factors continue, then the dosha level is crossed. At a dosha level, it is possible to revert the condition more easily, and we can separate the dosha from that particular part. So we have a different concept, Koshtha, Marmasti Sandhi, and Shakha. So from Shakha, Marmasti Sandhi, the doshas can be brought into the Koshtha and then expelled out if they are excess in number. So this is really removable from the body, and this is still at dosha level, and then the disease is treated properly. But when it crosses this limit and starts forming dosha dusha samurchana as such and gets involved into an organ. In Ayurveda also there are organs discussed about this, like Grani and Hridaya, as what I said. Or maybe Kantha, and there are many. We may try to get the list from of the Shariradi Bhavas from Kosha, etc. Even then, if there is no anatomical change in the organ, and only the dosh is residing over there causing some problem, etc., etc. So if it is a Grahani disease, Vataja, Pittaja, Kaphaja, whatever, we have a diagnosis, we treat and it gets cured. But when it brings about a change anatomical change in that organ or something like that, or somewhere in the body. That's what we see in Amavata or Vata, etc. So the phalanges get involved, swelling, etc., etc. And there can be this vakratva, anatomical deformity in rheumatoid arthritis. So this is indicative that the doshas have crossed the limit, and now it is the dhatu that has been involved. And this is because of the generation of that particular dhatu through this digestion. So still our focus is on digestion, Agni concept, Pachan, Deepan, etc. And then rectifying the formation of dhatus and such. Now the avayava or particular organ is getting generated from particular dhatus and such. Shonitam, Asanam, Saram, Jibha, Prajayate, etc. नेत्ररोग, दंतरोग एक्सेट्रा मध्ये अवयवाच्या आश्रयाने रोग वर्णन आहे. Yeah, that is true. But in again, there are patala in netra, and these are again ashrita with the dhatus. So there is a link between the dhatu and the organ as such, a particular avayava. And in that scenario, when it reaches the dhatu level and crosses dhatu level and enters into a particular organ and creates a deformity of that organ, something like that. So it may be hemangioma in the tongue, or it may be some tongue cancer, anything like that. Then we have to understand that this is deep rooted. The whole process of transformation from ahara rasa into dhatus and involvement of those dhatus in creation of a particular organ has been disturbed. And even masena rasa shukrivati trinan chartavam, it takes about 1 month for the formation of the shukra from this ahara rasa. And then we have when it gets generated from that particular dhatu, even the nourishment of that particular dhatu keeps on happening through this chain only. So if we treat it properly, then gradually there will be a reversal and the tumor will be gone. I have one case, my first case, which was cholangiocarcinoma, and when they opened up for possible surgery, they found that it is arising from gallbladder spreading to liver and intestine. And they decided not to do anything, closed down the abdomen, and left the case saying that he won't survive more than 15 days. Fortunately, the patient came to me. I took advice from Pulakar sir, kept him on only meal diet, and then he recovered fully and lived for 33 years. No sonography was done later on, and the whole tumor had disappeared. So where it would go? How it can disappear? So if there is a generation, there is a layer also of that particular bhava, if we understand the samprapti properly and revert the process. The same is the case with BP Nanal sir. He had also one case of liver cancer, and sonography showed that there was a prevalence of a tumor, and over a period it started regressing and vanished completely after 5-6 years. And the sonography was being done by Arun Kindre, a very well known sonologist from Pune, working in Gupta Hospital. So this is evident of the fact that we can revert even the changes at anatomical structure. काही पेशंट मध्ये ऑर्गन रिप्लेसमेंट मध्ये उपशय मिळतो हे कसे? This is a mechanical fixing of the problem. So there is no doubt that this works. But that's not real because the again new kidney will again get damaged within 5-6 years. Then how long you keep on changing the kidney? So this is a mechanical solution. This is not a real solution as such. काही स्त्रियांमध्ये मेन्स्ट्रुएशन यायच्या 1-2 दिवस आधी डोळे अतिशय जड होतात, अतिशय जड होतात, दुखतात. याचा संबंध कसा लावतो? This is Udavarta kind of thing, and when the menses start, then the Vayu gets adogati and the symptoms disappear. The same is condition about Stanashula as well. So some ladies may have severe breast pain before menstruation, and that is unbearable. So I am using this Tanadigata Vata, her Kashaya from Sharangar. It works. We may go for Basti, etc. This is Udavarta. So this is not anatomical Vikriti. This is physiological and physiopathological or something like that. And this can be reverted more easily. When it comes to a fibroid, again, fibroid and uterine cancer are different entities, and fibroid is at least not life-threatening, but uterine cancer is life-threatening or something like that. So no doubt conventional medicine has certain guidelines for this, which to treat in what way or something like that. Stanadigata Vatahara Kashaya. This is from Sharangar, you will find it. And you may use anything for Udavarta. So, Koshtavatara, Goachadi, etc. These can be used for the sake of Udavarta as such. But anyway, what I feel not available. You have to prepare. I made churna of this and use that churna. Otherwise, you have to prescribe it, and people have to make it at home. So what I'm emphasizing is even when there are anatomical changes, may be malignant, may be benign, those can be reverted with Ayurvedic principles. If we understand it properly, how this has happened, then you will be able to revert it properly. And you can show the results on sonography that there was a tumor and that has disappeared, something like that. Only thing this requires quite long period. That is one important aspect. And secondly, if you go for FNSC and biopsy, then there are more chances of its rapid spread. These two cases, they didn't do any biopsy or FNSC. In my case, it was opened up and they decided not to touch it. Another case I had renal cell carcinoma in which also they decided not to touch. And in Nanal's case, this was not done. And all these cases recovered very well. So that is why I'm against FNAC or biopsy if patient comes to us before doing that. Now, yesterday only I had a baby 4 months with a huge tumor arising from liver. And doctors are saying the alpha fetoprotein is more than 23,000. So this is indicative of liver cancer. And the advice given by the doctor is go for chemotherapy, then surgery, again chemotherapy for a 4-month baby. So I ask them, do not do anything. Don't go for allopathy at all, or something like that. Investigation साठी आधी FNAC करतात. That is true. There are very few cases reported to us before FNAC or biopsy. Even my experience is the same. If they approach at that time, I advise them not to go for this chemotherapy or radiation, sorry, biopsy or FNAC. And that's a requirement for them to start chemotherapy because depending upon the cell type, whether it is adenocarcinoma or other thing, etc., squamous cell carcinoma, etc. Based on that, the medicine is judged and it has to be decided. And so they want to go for FNAC or biopsy to start that. Now, the argument over this, if we ask them not to go for chemotherapy and radiation or for FNAC or biopsy, then the argument is if you don't know the disease itself, how are you going to treat? So I used to argue with them that what next? If we understand that this is cancer or this is not cancer or something like whatever it may be, there are two possibilities. And if it is cancer, what kind of treatment are you going to offer? And what is going to be the outcome of that treatment? Whether the outcome is going to be very good and the patient is going to get recovered fully, then it's fine. But that's not the situation at all. What they emphasize, we should diagnose, we should tell it to the patient. In Western countries, this is unavoidable rule that you should explain everything to the patient. That this is the diagnosis, this is what we are going to do, these are the effects of that, and the patient should be very well known that what he is taking treatment for or something like that, and what are the side effects, etc. What is the expected output of that. Agenesis of uterus, I don't remember. Can you explain what is agenesis of uterus? I've heard this, but biopsy or FNAC actually releases cancer cells in circulation. They may lodge anywhere elsewhere and create silent secondaries. Some doctors believe this, some doctors do not believe this. And long back, maybe 10, 15 years before, Dhananjay Kulkarni once said that Anand Bhushan Angade was saying that this is now without any doubt that biopsy doesn't enhance the disease. But that was his opinion. I still don't agree with that. And logically speaking, this would be aggravating the disease. This would be creating a spread of the disease. There is no doubt about that in my mind. Now, the other important aspect over here is the credit of the treatment. Nowadays, they do genetic study of cancer cells and find appropriate drug for it, just like culture and sensitivity is done at Data Genetics Nashik. Yeah. So this is again a mechanical approach. You do genetic study and try to repair the gene. Instead of going for the cause, what has caused it deranged or something like that. And removing the cause, you just want to go for mechanical repair of the gene. Stem cell theory is also is absence or failed development of an organ. Okay, fine. Now we have a concept of this bija bhaga vayava gets dushta by the doshas, and there can be underdevelopment or no development of uterus. I have come across a case about this rudimentary uterus, and she didn't get menses, and at the age of 16 they did the sonography and found that the uterus is rudimentary. Now she took treatment from one renowned Vaidya, and then came to me for treatment. I did Panchakarma and other things, but nothing helped. And then I said, this is rather difficult to develop it fully. Now, at that time, I was not using Garbhopadaras. This is maybe Tritiya Mas and Saptama Mas Kalpa along with Garbhopadaras would have helped, but it would take time for that. Fortunately enough, uh, they released advertisement with her disease that she doesn't have uterus, but she had secondary sex characters, development of breast and hair in the armpit, and she has desire for sex. That was also important. So they could get information about a groom who was azoospermia, having azoospermia, married, and then adopted a child. And plastic surgery was done for possible intercourse. So they created a pouch and in that space. So she had sexual life and ultimately adopted, and the whole problem was resolved. And this can happen about any organ as such. And we have this bija bhaga vayava drishti for that. So either going for genetics or going for this repair of gene, mechanical way or something like that, is again a mechanical, and this is not going to be in long-term use. Ayurveda will have more good opportunity in this with great success as such. धातू सारत्व नष्ट होणे हे अवयव विकृतीची सुरुवात आहे का? कारण अवयव निर्मिती धातूच्या प्रसाराच्या भागात that is true. And unfortunately, there are more symptoms given with dhatu sarata. There are no symptoms given about dhatu asarata. Ato viparita astu asaraha. That is what only given. And there is a book written by Vaidya Venimadhav Shastri Joshi, a very small booklet, Manav Sarasaratva Parikshan. And he has dealt with the asaratva of few cases and the symptoms and outcome of something like that. After menarche, if amenorrhea is there for 7-8 months, after that again menses, after that again amenorrhea for long duration. What to think about this case? So this might be PCOD and delayed menses. And then there are two things. When you get menses after 3-4 months, and if they are heavy menses, that means there is accumulation of that rajas, but it's not getting out. There is some obstruction. And if after 3-4 months there is on the normal flow, then the generation of raja it's less. And then we have to think about Rasadhatvagni and generation of raja, and this is associated with Artava as well. Because this is
डेव्हलप होत नाही जसं होतं म्हणजे कार्यकारी भाव असतात त्याचं नाही जात ना पर्यंत तर कार्यकारी भावाचं जाण्यासाठी ती जी 25-40 वर्ष जातात तोपर्यंत मग असं आधी लावून जर झालं तर त्यांनी करता येईल का?
Possible if we come to know about this deformation or something like that. And now I am using this particularly Garbhopal Ras, etc. Now I would like to switch over to Garbha Vinod Ras. and one pharmacy is preparing it. I ordered that because Garbhopal Ras has Nagabhasma, and we are not sure about the quality. If it is trusted, then only we can use. Otherwise, Garbha Vinoda might be a good option in that scenario. And if we come to know about this and start proper treatments for that, when they say that the Rasayana treatment is capable of making old man young again, and Nari, Jara Jarjirdo Pyasi Nari Nayananandana, so beautiful like that, then it is possible to correct this process by Rasayana treatment. Of course, one has to go for Panchakarma first and then go for Rasayana treatment as such. IVF and IUI is also mechanical process. There is no doubt about that. So everything is being fixed in allopathy. What is the relation between raised BSL and cancer? They say now that whether it is a coincidence or those who are having diabetes are prone to cancer. This is another important aspect. There is some specific dosha dusha involved. Garbha Chintamani is available. It was Garbha Vinod Ras or Garbha Chintamani Ras. I don't remember whether it is Garbha Chintamani. Udar Jatradaka Avastha should be considered as Pitta Pradhana or Kapha Pradhana Avastha. This is totally out of focus question. Paka Avastha is definitely Pitta Pradhana, but there can be Kaphodara as well. Garbha Vinoda is not available. Okay, Garbha Chintamani. So Garbha Chintamani we may try to go for. Vedanath se milte. Okay. This was some another company. I think Ayurved Seva Sangha Nashik. I don't remember right now. Also Ayurved Seva Sangha Nashik. Yeah, that is what the representative came to my clinic after so many years. Ayurved Seva Sangha. And then I could understand that this is available. Garbha Chintamani Ras is available. Anyway, what we Dabur also available. Okay, but then better to go for Baidyanath or Seva Sangha. That's a better choice to do. Anyway, what I feel, भावेंचं नागभस्म अवेलेबल आहे ते चांगल्या क्वालिटीचे असते फेंट येलो कलर गोल्डकेसर नागभस्म ऑरेंज कलर yeah there are many people taking it from Ghodke and even Sohn Pathak is getting it from Ghodke and if it is available from Bhave that is also fine. Baidyanath Rasakalpa are reliable. I have my own experience about that. So we can go for that. Vodka is also reliable. No problem. But ultimately you decide from whom to purchase and get experience. Anyway, I'm going to use this 6x only. So whether it contains Naga or not, that's not going to bother me much. But at least the quality of medicine should be good. So Amit Godke is one of our students residing in Narayanpet. He has his clinic and his medical shop, etc. near Patra Maruti. He is a student of mine and of Bhagyawadikar, Prashant Bhagyawadikar, both. So पुण्यामध्ये वैद्य घोडके सर आहेत आर्य औषधालय. Yes, that is what I'm saying. So these are two very different streams, myself and Prashant Bhagyawadikar. But he was in both of us, our clinics. So anyway. What is this? गर्भचिंतामणि शुद्ध पारद हर्बल प्यूरिफाइड मर्करी शुद्ध गंधक स्वर्ण भस्म लोह रजत माक्षिक कॉपर ताम्र शुद्ध हरताळ वर्सेस ऑर्पिमेंट ओके वंग भस्म अभ्रक भस्म and ब्राह्मी वसा वासा भृंगराज पर्पटक दशमूल. Okay, the combination is having Raupya, Suvarna, Tamra, Bhanga, everything. So this again, the permutation and combinations of Rasashastra medicines and of these kinds of herbal yogas from Sahasra Yoga have to be thought in deeply to understand the exact way of action of these and that is fine. So anyway, we had a long diversion. What I feel, we need to understand the process of digestion, not only at digestive system or Mahasvatas, but at Dhatu level, Bhutagni level, as such. And Haritala is itself. When they are doing it, it should be safe. Only thing is there should not be any shortcuts in preparing this Bhasma, Hartal Bhasma, etc. If that is proper, then it's not an issue. So basic to do is do it by ourselves, and then we are dead sure that it is good. Otherwise, as I said, at least you make it 6/6 and then use it. So all are saved in that situation. Anyway, so what I feel right now, this is a totally novel approach by Ayurveda of dosha, dhatu, mala, and then avaya. So whenever there is a deformity in an avayava, which is practically seen in scan, MRI, etc., etc., we have to understand that Samprapti is deep rooted, though we can correct that, we can rectify it. It takes time, that's all. And our process starts from digestive system. So Dandhana and Pachan is the basic treatment for everything. And if we are able to use a particular Pachana, so Raktadutta Vichar Avashyak, that is true. That is why I am arrived at Rakta Pachaka in all cancer patients. In all Avayav Nirvite, there is relationship of Rakta Dhatu, and so Rakta Dhatu is more important. And like dosha, Rakta can be removed from the body. This is again important aspect. And if this Vikruta Rakta is gone out, then the supply to that dhatu in generation of that dhatu will get paused or will get disturbed, and there can be a reversion of the disease. Datar Guruji has explored formulation like Padmaka Kunshita Vidruma based on dhatu and organ concept, given utmost importance to Rakta Dhatu. Yeah. So there is no doubt that Rakta is very important, and even Vagbhata, Tatha Nidagantu Vikarkari Raktavshadhattvena Sirabhyatati. Siraveda is also half treatment or even full treatment. That is what the Vagbhata says. So there is no doubt about Rakta. How to understand the Dushti of the Rakta and the causative factors and do rectification. This is a big issue as such. And we may have to go deep for this to understand. But anyway, we are really fortunate to have Ayurveda, which is having so deep thoughts and going to the root cause as compared to conventional medicine. Only thing, this has to be practiced properly implemented in our practice to have good results. And the society will change when there are good results. So this is what is more important. So anyway, we'll just read and then conclude today. Punarnavasyarda तुलां स्फोट्याभुजङ्गमा दशमूलस्य पञ्चाशत् फलानि लशुनस्य च तावन्ति तोये निष्पात्य तेन प्रस्थं घृतात्पचत् एरण्डतैलसंयुक्तं वा कृष्णा तन्मूलसंयोगैः यष्टिमधुकं ऋद्वीका यवानि विश्वभेषजैः एतैर्हिङ्वादिना वापि प्रतिवापं विनिक्षिपे सदुग्धं साधितं तत्तु शूलगुल्मोदरापहम्. So Punarnavadi Gurta, I don't think this is in use. Sadugdam Saditam Tattu Shula Gulmodarapam. So let us consider it tomorrow and conclude today. Ayurveda Prakando Nigaditaiha Shalyatantra Pradhanaha Shishrebhya Shashvato Yan Nikhilagana Krita Vyapta Chitte Nayena Ayurvedasya Vanchan Punarapi Bhuvane Tancha Sushtu Pratishtham Shreshtham Dhanvantarintam Pranamati Cha Sada Vaidyavargo Hinam Vaidyavargo Hinukam. 6x is a homeopathic method which Nanal used, and in Dhyan Prabodhini there was one Paintsay who tried to bring it for Ayurveda, and Dhyan Prabodhini started it maybe 50-60 years before, and there is one Agom pharmacy in Konkan which is preparing this Sukshma medicines like Sukshma Bhutva, Chintamani, etc., marketing it. So this is in Kolthare. In Rakta Pitta, which Pachaka to be used? Is go as per the text. So Rakta Pachaka is fine, but not only Rakta Pachaka, you go for Vasa, Durva, etc. Rakta Pitta, Nashak treatment. So the method is they use milk sugar. I am using glucose sugar as such. So one part of that medicine, 9 parts of that sugar, and you make a curl for 6 hours, no, 3 hours. And then take one part of that, again put 9 parts and make a curl, again 3 hours. So this is 2x. In the same manner, take one part and do it. 3x, 4x, 5x, and 6x. So then it becomes 1:1 lakh. And that is fine. So one can use them, and I use it in very small quantity. Nanal sir was doing it in using it very. Rakta Pradari, I have to see Rakta Pradar treatment or Rakta Pitta treatment. This is difficult. Can't say just give something or something like that. Rakta Stambhak Vati from Dudpapeshwar works better. Garbhapal Ras, Garpal, Sir Rajo Vikruta कोणत्या कंडिशन मध्ये वापरावे. रजोविकार, not रजोविकार, congenital diseases. So Garbhopal, so that is to be used in congenital diseases and not really Rajodushti. So this is again a big question to answer.